Bronco fans, and football fans everywhere. Welcome to the show. I'm Bronco Bill. He's Jeremy Case. This is Broncos Breakdown, brought to you, like always, every Tuesday. I forgot what I was going to say.
Brought to you by Jeremy and Bill. That's who it's brought to you by, Jeremy and Bill.
There you go. Before I get into Bronco news, which obviously we're going to talk about the game and situations that happened and injuries and things of that nature. We'll get into that. I want to get your opinion on this. This just broke this afternoon, and I want to bring it because it's going to be all over the sports news here probably already. Here it is. Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback and his wife, supermodel Giselle Buncham, have both hired divorce lawyers. Brady took an unprecedented 11-day hiatus during the preseason. Reportedly spent time with his family in the Bahamas. Shortly after his return, he hinted at the struggles of balancing a family and football. He said, and I quote, "I'm 45 years old. There's a lot of it going on." Brady says right here, reports this offseason suggested that Bunchkin was upset, and here's the key, upset with Brady's decision to return for a 23rd NFL season after announcing his retirement in early February. Before I ask your opinion, Jeremy, I want to just make a point. I'm a married man. I've been married for 27 years to my beautiful wife. I cannot think of anything more important than a decision if she wants me to retire, which she did. Realistically, she did when I injured my arm this past December. She wanted me to retire, and I did. I cannot imagine a person throwing away his marriage for a football career when he's already had an illustrious and Hall of Fame career. I have no idea why he did that.
Well, it's because he truly loves the game. That's why he did it. Like
more than his wife?
It's yes, apparently, because he's willing to sacrifice. Look, when you really love something and you're really passionate about something, sometimes people will go to the lengths of sacrificing their entire family to do what they love to do. I have not made that decision, nor have you made that decision, but there are some people out there who made that decision. Entertainers make this decision all the time. You know, that's why a lot of them try to get famous before they even get married, because, you know, once they're married after they're famous, it usually never works out. And such was the case of Tom Brady, because he had a previous marriage already before Giselle. And so, you know, it's a guy who's extremely passionate about the game. He loves football more than anything else in this world, you know, and it's kind of, you know, it's a testament to his will and his desire and his passion for the game. But also at the same time, I feel for his family because of the fact of, you know, going through a divorce is always hard on the children.
Absolutely.
Or a breakup. It doesn't matter if, you know, you could not be married and have kids and split with the person you had kids with. I've done it two separate occasions myself. Any type of split with a child involved is very, very difficult. Not only that, it's just, I don't know, maybe if the cameras hadn't paid attention to it over the years, but I've never seen Tom Brady's family at the games. Never, not once have I ever seen his kids at the games. That's just what I've observed. That doesn't mean that that's what's going on.
Right.
Because for all we know, the cameras, you know, Tom Brady may have in the production meetings before the games, may say, "Hey, please don't put the cameras on my family. I would really appreciate that." And being that he's Tom Brady, I'm sure whoever's broadcasting the game would respect those wishes. So, yeah, it's tough. I mean, you know, there's certain things that to one partner or another will not compromise in a relationship. And in this instance, Giselle said, "I'm not willing to stick around any longer while you chase this pipe dream of playing as long as you can and as long as your body will hold up." She said, "I'm done." She's done. So, I mean,
well, basically she's raised the kids he has a 14-year-old son, I believe, and a 10 or 11-year-old daughter. So yeah,
I'd imagine they have a lot more assistance than most normal people, given the fact of their their status. But yeah, I mean, emotionally, she's been there. She's sacrificed pretty much her modeling career to stay at home with the kids, and now she wants Tom home. Tom doesn't.
Uh-oh, you're muted, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. It happens. It'll come back. In the meantime, I will. Are you there? There you go.
You
nope.
know,
Yep.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
You know, she's Tom. She wanted Tom to give it up. Tom, I don't know if he doesn't want to or anything, but he's certainly not at the moment doesn't want to. So, you know, she said, "Well, you've made your decision. I'm going to make mine, and we're just going to go our separate ways." You know, it's not very uncommon in relationships for, you know, the one partner or another to want the other to be home if that's what their career involves. I mean, you know, I leave work for 8 hours a day, and my wife still wants to be home all the time. So I can only imagine with the amount of work that Tom Brady puts in with his career, I imagine that yearning is twice as much because he's gone a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, on that note, I wish him all the best. Maybe that's why he's struggling this year.
Maybe
in the game, his head.
That's a tough process for even normal people to go through.
Yeah. And then try and have a career at the highest level of performance on a national stage. Yeah, that's got to be intense. I wish him all the best. Hate to see it. I mean, I like the guy. He's a great athlete. I didn't like him obviously when he was beating Denver all the time, but he's a great athlete, and I wish him all the best.
He's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, arguably, and you know, a lot of what Brady's strengths are now is not necessarily the physical side of him because he's not the greatest athlete, but it's the mental side. And if you have something mentally going on, and you're relying on that through the waning years of your career, it's gonna affect your playing.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. All right, let's move on to Denver Broncos talk.
Okay.
The Broncos played last Sunday against the Raiders, 0-3 team, and they lose 32-23, but they lost more than the game. Absolutely, they lost more than the game. Randy Gregory out 4 to 6 weeks with a knee injury. More importantly, Devonte Williams gone for the season, torn ACL and LCL. I'm not sure, Jeremy, this guy's career is going to be the same once he comes back.
I don't either. I saw a stat on Twitter the other day that return to play is 66% from this injury.
Wow.
And as far as them being the same player, i.e. explosiveness, is an astonishing 33% from this because he tore his ACL, his LCL too. So I was getting very, very, pessimistic about it on Twitter, not to the point to where I was obviously disrespecting Devonte Williams, but to the point to where I don't think he'll ever play another snap as a Denver Bronco ever again. I don't think his NFL career is over because just because you lose your explosiveness, you could still be a really effective third down back, but you're not going to be necessarily a bell cow back and being called on a lot of the times to run like he was. And people, the experts came out on me on Twitter and said, well, I've had the same injury and I played at high school level and I came back and I was just fine. I was like, well, that's high school level. You're not in the NFL. The NFL is a whole different beast. And, to play at the highest level is a lot. It's a lot.
So why do you feel? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, that was pretty much the end of it.
So why do you feel that he won't play for the Broncos again after just saying that he may not have the explosiveness, but he can still be a very valuable back? Are you trying to say that that Denver's not going to want him back, or that he's going to be like, and I hate to say it, guys, don't yell at me when I say this, but is he going to be like a Terrell Davis, where Terrell tore his ACL and never was the same? Is that what you're saying?
I think it's that because, quite simply, just to put it in layman's terms, the Broncos don't have time to wait. You know, they signed Russell Wilson to a 7-year contract. Well, they got about 3 or 4 really good physically prime years left of Russell Wilson, and the last 3 of those. That's why they front loaded it in a lot of signing bonus as well. So because they knew that these were going to be his peak years. I mean, we're only 4 weeks in, and he's already got a sore shoulder. He's not getting any younger, so they don't have time to wait for. I mean, the original prognosis on this injury is a minimum of 1.5 years.
That's intense.
That's a lot. I don't think the Broncos have that amount of time just to sit around and wait and rest the entire load on Melvin Gordon, because as we've seen Sunday, that's not exactly promising at the moment. So, and they went out and signed Latavius Murray, but you know, those are just Band-Aids on a problem that needs a cast right now.
Right.
You know, those are not a solution. That is a temporary arrangement is what that is. That is not a solution. So I just don't think the Broncos have time to sit around and wait and see if Devonte is going to be the same guy or not. I mean, I'm sure they might keep him on the practice squad and see how he progresses, but if he's nowhere even near the same guy, I just think they're going to cut him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't think the Broncos want anything less than him. I mean, and everybody's going to probably come out and, you know, whoever sees this video or whatever is probably going to be upset with me, but look what they did with Philip Lindsay. He had a 1,000-yard season. They're like, bye, see ya. We don't need you. You know, it's just it's a game of who are your assets and who are your liabilities. And if Devonte Williams is anything less than what he was showing to be, he's going to be a liability.
Yeah.
That's just the business side of it. It sucks. This is why I always try to tell fans all the time, don't get attached to rosters. Don't get attached to players, because it could all change on a whim.
Well, I heard that Melvin Gordon is going to be the featured back this coming Thursday because Murray basically obviously just coming into the team doesn't know the system. Doesn't know the system, all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure if he's going to be on the sidelines. I'm pretty sure he will be.
Yes,
but
what Latavius Murray's role this Thursday is going to be is if Melvin Gordon gets hurt to where he can't come back, then Latavius Murray will step in because he's got experience.
Right.
You know,
but the thing that bothers me is you're going to entrust this offensive running game to a fumbling Melvin Gordon, 4 fumbles, critical times, 4 games, and you're going to put him in as the featured back. That to me scares me, because you know the Colts are going to go after. They're going to try and punch that ball out every single opportunity they can.
And which 3 of those have been returned for touchdowns. Now, I've been rewatching the Melvin Gordon fumble from Sunday. It's hard to determine whether he dropped the ball because he got whipped from the force from when he got dragged down from the waist, or somebody legitimately punched out the ball. The camera angles on it are not that great. So I'm not entirely sure where the fault lies, but the one thing I am sure of is that Melvin Gordon, it should always be 2 hands then. Yep. Should always be 2 hands. You know, absolutely. I don't think Melvin Gordon should ever carry a ball with 1 hand ever again. And, you know, I've had my personal problems with him because of his ego and how he thinks he should be RB1. Well, now's your chance to prove that you can perform how you feel you can perform. You know, Melvin Gordon is not the Melvin Gordon of 5 years ago, not even 3 years ago. You know, so that was my biggest problem, is like, that's not where you're at right now. And Devonte was the clear better running back. And so now is Melvin Gordon's chance. He wanted to talk all training camp and all preseason long about how I should be RB1, and now's your chance to prove it, because if you screw this up, there's no doubt that you're going to be gone. They're going to find a replacement, whether that's Latavius Murray or they call somebody up from the practice squad, or they make a straight up trade for you. I think if Melvin Gordon fumbles the football one more time, whether it ends in a defensive scoring possession or not, I think he's gone. Because I think they really are trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because of his veteranship and the fact that they paid him quite a bit of money to be here. You know, they don't want to just cut that loss if he can just turn it around, which I understand from the business side. But yes, like you mentioned, 4 fumbles, 3 of them returned for points. Not good. You can't turn the number one thing that you can't control, that you cannot absolutely do in a football game to ensure that you win is turn the football over. You can't keep doing that. The Broncos, for the most part, have got that situated, but this is the one part where it's time for Melvin Gordon to prove himself. And we're going to see about that in 2 days.
Exactly. I heard today on a talk show, Broncos talk show, that there was a proposal somebody threw out and said, why not propose this trade? And here, this might make you happy. I heard Jerry Jeudy trading to Cleveland for what's the guy's the running back? Is it Hill?
No, it's Nick Chubb.
No, Hunt.
Oh, Kareem Hunt?
Kareem Hunt, yes.
Well, problem with Kareem Hunt.
Somebody threw that out and said that would be a very, very welcomed trade from the Denver perspective. What do you think?
I guess so, but then you have the same problems that you did with Devonte. The guy gets hurt a lot. He's had quite a bit of injuries. Yeah. I mean, you got to either start from scratch in the draft, or you got to go get a younger guy. You can't bring in a guy who has a lot of a pretty good history injury. I mean, I'm going to look it up here real quick. Mm-hmm. Of Kareem Hunt's injuries here, but I think he's been hurt quite a bit. I mean, he was just hurt last year. He missed 9 games last year with an injury. I mean, do you really, he had a torn calf and an ankle issue. I mean, those are key parts to a running back, and you need those to run. So, I mean, I don't know. Do you really want to bring another guy like that in and potentially, lose him to other things as well?
I'm not sure. I'm not proposing that. I'm not proposing that.
I mean, he's backing up Nick Chubb right now, and I don't know. It's just it's kind of like this whole goalie situation with the Avalanche. You bring in a backup, and to be honest, his body's not used to full-time reps. There's going to be an adjustment period, So, and Latavius Murray just played. He just played in the London game last week,
and he scored a touchdown.
So it's like, I don't think that's a great option, quite honestly.
Okay. I mean, I just threw that out there because that's what I heard.
No, I'm just responding to what you said. It's nothing against you personally.
Right. No. I know. But I'm not too thrilled about giving up weapons that the Broncos have. I know Judy's had some.
Especially Jerry Jeudy.
I mean, I know he's had some issues, and he has some, I don't know, what do you want to call it?
I think he redeemed himself last week. He had a touchdown catch and another one.
But his attitude sometimes bothers me.
Well, yeah, obviously. It's bothering all of us. But, if the guy comes out and he backs it up, then I don't have no problem with the attitude. I mean, the problem with the fact is, I think the reason why people are saying Jerry Jeudy is because, quite honestly, he got a couple of targets last week. But to be honest, it's not Jerry Jeudy that's the issue. It's that the fact that Russell Wilson can't even get enough time to throw the ball downfield. It's the offensive line. That has nothing to do with Jerry Jeudy. He's doing his part. He's running the route. If Russell Wilson can't get the ball to him where he's got to tuck it and run, that's not Jerry Judy's fault at all.
Right. Well, something needs to change because I'll tell you what, we haven't played the Chiefs yet. We haven't played the Chargers yet. We have to play the Raiders again. We have to play the Rams. I know the Rams lost to the 49ers, but they're the Rams, defending Super Bowl champions.
They are.
We have to play. We have to play a lot of tough teams this year. And I mean, sure, we got the Jets, but hey, any given Sunday. And that's what scares me about this offensive line, because they did not address that in the offseason. I know that we had a whole lot of holes to fill, and I understand that. And George Payton did the best he could. But you cannot put a franchise quarterback in Russell Wilson back there and expect him to have all the time in the world when you've got a porous front line.
Especially after a year when Russell Wilson went on the Dan Patrick show and said that his biggest issue was that he kept getting sacked all the time. Mm-hmm. It's not really like, does he have – I guess he would have the equal amount of weapons here as he did in Seattle. I mean, they're about equivalent in talent, but like the problem really hasn't fixed itself. I know it was mostly with Pete Carroll, but that offensive line in front of him was terrible too. I mean, do we really wanted this to be a continuing trend for Russell Wilson? Like, I don't know where the hell is Billy Turner? Where is he at? Where he's been practicing for 4 weeks straight and has yet to appear in a game. Yep. Where's that happening? I mean, You know, it hurt losing Quinn Miners.
Mhm.
It hurts losing those guys, but like we have to find a solution to replace that here. Now, I know you were urging, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if there is a viable solution right now as far because like all the great tackles, the teams are starting to pay them now. So they're all kind of spoken for. So it's like, what's your alternative here? They're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. It's
Mhm.
kind of just like they got their hands tied in it. Unfortunately, this onslaught has to continue. If you want my honest opinion, I think it would be extremely smart of the Broncos. I know it's just soreness, but I would think it'd be extremely smart just to sit Russell Wilson
Sorry
Thursday.
about that.
You're
You hit
good.
the microphone.
I think it would be extremely smart to sit Russell Wilson this week, to
Yeah.
sit him, because you think that shoulder problem is just that soreness is going to go away if he keeps getting hit more. No,
Mhm.
it ain't going to go away.
And Brett Rippon, I mean, he knows the system. I mean,
Well,
he
yeah.
played the preseason because obviously none of the starters did. There's
Well, I
that
mean,
preseason
yeah,
reference again.
and you're facing a pretty weak defensive front in the Colts, and
Mhm.
you got Nick Bosa and all those guys waiting for you in 10 days afterwards, and you have no pass rusher in the best passing quarterback in the league with Justin Herbert coming up. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I know his ribs are hurting him, but like, man, you need to play it smart here because that offensive line, like the amount of blocks that were missed that were supposed to be picked up was just astonishing. I just couldn't believe it. Like there was that one where I can think it was Beck. He blocked him for a little bit, then
Mhm.
immediately cut to a stick route, left him completely untouched. Nobody picked up Max Crosby, and he blew
Right.
right through and just pummeled Russell Wilson.
Yep. And that's maybe when he hurt his shoulder. Not sure because he took a shot.
I think he got sacked like 4 times.
Yeah.
Like that sack number needs to like decline bad because
Mhm.
he's been averaging about 3 or 4 sacks a game, and that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not helping at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Garrett Bowles regressed too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he was not the Garrett Bowles of the first 2 games. That's for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. I know we touched on the signing of Tavius Murray. Do you feel bringing him in that was? Do you think that was a Band-Aid that George Payton said, "Hey, I got to get somebody in here because we lost Williams," or do you think that Murray can be an asset and a solid back for the Broncos, whether it's Gordon and Murray or whether it's Boone and Murray? I do you think he's going to be that person that we need him to be?
Well, I think, like I said previously, like I think the reason why Latavius Murray is here is because he's a veteran running back with experience. Where if Melvin Gordon goes down, they can call him in and just be like, "Look, just run the ball. Like we're just gonna like." And he doesn't know the system. I get it, but like I'm pretty sure if you told Latavius Murray, "Hey, we're just gonna run a sweep here to the right," I'm sure he would understand that and be able to just pick that up without understanding the blocking assignments because he just a sweep to a right, or hey, we're just going to run it up the gut. I'm going to hand the ball to you, just run it forward, try and find a gap in the A or B gap and just go. Like I think it's just a really good. I think it's just a fail safe because I don't think they trust Michael Boone to be that bell cow back.
Right.
I really don't.
Right.
Because we saw that on Sunday and it wasn't working.
Sure. Oh, muted again. It's okay, man. It's okay. I'm going to reflect on that Latavius Murray signing as well. I think it's because, like you said, it's the veteran, the veteran leadership, the veteran presence, the knowledge of the game. Maybe he can be there to take Gordon under his wing. I don't know. To just maybe come alongside him and say, "Hey, guy, come on, man, put your hands around it. I know you want to try and get that extra 3 or 4 yards. Don't worry about it. Just control the ball, hang on the ball, that kind of thing."
He used to kill the Broncos when he played with the Raiders. So, I mean, he's got a little bit of familiarity in that aspect. So maybe he can. I don't know. So, but more so, I think it's just a fail safe. The veteran leadership, really.
Right. You mentioned the Chargers in 10 days after Thursday. I don't want to look past Thursday. Don't get me wrong. We will touch on that in a little bit. I don't want to get past that. But how ironic was that last week, not counting, I don't mean last Sunday, I meant week 3, the Broncos were the only team in the AFC West to win. This week, the Broncos are the only team in the AFC West not to win.
Yeah,
how crazy is that?
I mean, that's the NFL. The NFL is really unpredictable. For all intents and purposes that we know, I guess we're expecting a lot of the fans are expecting a win going into Thursday night, but who knows, man? With all those injuries now, you got Randall Gregory out, you got Devonte Williams out. That could be enough to do us in for like the next 4 to 5 to 6 weeks until at least Randy Gregory comes back. And the season can really go to hell in a handbasket real quick. So, that's just how it goes. What's really more shocking to me is how this was supposed to be the best division in football. This was like so overhyped at the beginning of the year. It's like, yeah, it's the best division in football. This is going to be really good. A lot of these teams, and it's just like the Raiders are terrible. We're suffering injuries really early on, and it's making us terrible. The Chargers are ever since Justin Herbert got his ribs clocked, and the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. They're still just like reigning supreme over the top of the AFC West. Everybody got humbled pretty quick within 4 weeks' time. Now, is that a reflection of the rest of the season? I don't know. It's hard to say, but that's what blows my mind the most is how this was supposed to be the best division of football. I don't think there really is a clear cut from team 1 through 4 best division in football right now. I just don't. I think the more things change, the more they stay the same. And it looks like it's going to be the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs for the AFC title again this year. Is what it's looking like right now. Maybe the Dolphins might slip in there, but I highly doubt it. If with what happened to Tua Tagovailoa, last Thursday. So I don't know, but and I don't even know who's going to come out of the NFC side because the Buccaneers they look terrible this year. They're not. Tom Brady looks terrible. So I don't know.
Got those issues. That's why.
Maybe the Rams might come out of the NFC again because, like you say, they lost Von Miller, but they also replaced him with Bobby Wagner. So it's not like they've lost a lot of those pieces.
Right. I never expected from the beginning that this was a Super Bowl year. I expected though that, and I even said in my early predictions that the Broncos were going to go. What I say was 10-7, 11-6, something like that. I'm not even sure we're going to win 8 at this point. And I'm
not sure either.
And if we lose Thursday, I'm saying if, guys, don't hold nothing against me. I'm saying if we lose Thursday, and we are favored, by the way. I'm not sure by how much, but we are favored. If we lose Thursday, is our season over? Because we have got to play the Chargers in 10 days, and then we got the Chiefs down the road. We got to go to Jacksonville, or not to Jacksonville, but London, Jacksonville, across the pond. I'm not sure that the Broncos can recover if they lose, or since losing to the Raiders and turn around and lose at home to the Colts. I'm not sure that this team can win 8 games.
Well, I don't think it's over if we lose Thursday. I think it'll be over if we lose the following Monday night. The thing that's going to hold us back more than anything from getting in the playoffs, Bill, is our divisional record. You can't win your divisional games. You're not going to the playoffs. It's that simple. So if the Broncos lose that Monday night in LA at SoFi Stadium, then it's over. You can't. This is such a tough division. You can't lose more than 2 divisional games. Because if not, you're just going to – because we thought this division was going to have 3 teams go to the playoffs. No, it's 2. And either the Dolphins or the Ravens are going to sneak in and be the other wild card.
So basically what you're saying is, since we've already lost to the Raiders in the division, if we lose to the Chargers in week 5, we have to sweep Kansas City and beat the Raiders and Chargers. I don't see that happening.
That's not happening. Yeah, no. If we lose that game on Monday night against the Chargers, the whole seas's over.
Yep.
It's over. Yeah. We can try and scrape together 8 wins and by no means do I mean that the Broncos should just stop trying and tank for a big draft pick. But I just think as far as our playoff aspirations go, they're gone.
Right. So for all of you out there that are watching, we're not being Debbie Downers. We're not. We're being realistic. We're being honest. We're being realistic, and we're being truthful. And if sometimes the truth hurts.
It does.
And
it's not fun.
And that's what we have to bring is I will not do a show where I'm going to blow smoke. I'm not.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, Bill, like I'm the one that's got to call these games. We're the ones that got to sit here and talk about this every week. I don't want to be. I don't want to continue to call these long, boring, stalling out games that the Broncos have been having. It's boring. I get bored during the game, and it's very frustrating. I wish the Broncos could just light it up and give us a Star Wars offense like the 2013 Denver Broncos did. But it's just the reality of it's where we're at. We can't sit here in denial and do this show with orange and blue colored, rose colored glasses on. It's just I'm not going to certainly do that. And if that makes me any less of a Broncos fan than the next person who still thinks we're going 17-0, which is an impossibility at this point, then I guess, then so be it. But I'm not going to sacrifice my personal integrity to please people that I don't even know. So
right. Exactly. I totally agree. Okay. Speaking of the AFC West, the standings now, as of the moment, Chiefs are 3-1, first place. Yep. Denver knocked out of first place, obviously, by the loss. 2-2, Chargers 2-2, Raiders 1-3. The division is still there for the taking, but like you said, we cannot lose. If we beat the Colts this coming Thursday, and we lose to the Chargers, we'll be 3-3. That's not going to get it. A 500 record is not going to get it.
You're going to have an 0-2 divisional record.
Yep.
On top of that,
and
just not going to get it done.
Yeah. Exactly. So you're right. From now on, it's a must-win situation. Yeah. I'm not sure that's going to happen. I hope it happens.
At least when it comes to division games, I don't care outside of any other games. We play Jacksonville. I don't care because you know what? In Heinz speak, I would have rather have lost one of the two first games against San Francisco or Houston. If you were to tell me, hey, we're going to lose against San Francisco or Houston, but we're going to beat the Raiders, I'd take that all day.
Yeah, I can see your point because it's a division game. I understand it. I get that. Yeah, I get that. Absolutely.
I mean, obviously you can't lose too many other divisional games, but you can't also just keep losing divisional games either. You can't do it. You go 0-2, and by the time we face the Chargers, that's going to be week 6. It's too far in. You're done.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Speaking of the Colts, let's shift to the Thursday night game. Prime time again, at home. I have mixed emotions about what the crowd is going to do. Are they going to boo Gordon if he loses yardage, gains maybe 1 or 2 yards, doesn't get untracked? Are the boo birds going to come out? Are they going to count down the play clock again? Is in other words, what I'm trying to say is Broncos country right now restless because of the situation the Broncos are in?
Well, I wouldn't say restless, as more as I'd say just ungodly frustrated because I think the reason why, and I think to all the people who have the issue with booing, I would say, look, the Broncos fans boo because they understand the potential of this team.
Right.
They understand it. It's an extremely talented team on paper. Maybe somewhat overhyped coming into the season. Sure, now we're learning that now. But I don't think maybe if Melvin Gordon continues to lose his yards or only gains a yard or two, I think if drives continue to stall and Russell Wilson continues to get sacked, I think the Broncos fans will start booing because this has just been an issue that, that just keeps biting the Broncos in the ankles. Or if the penalties continue for holding, that's probably going to get some boos from the Broncos fan. If they just come out and don't show any fight at all against the Colts, I think the boo birds will come out. The play clock stuff's over. That's pretty much handled. The Broncos didn't have any issues with that these last 2 games that they played. So I think that stuff's over. But yeah, if the Broncos come out and they only put up 3 to 7 points in the first half, I think it's going to be booed. Absolutely. Yeah, I think the team will be booed.
So what do the Broncos have to do? Let me back up a minute. Do you think and feel that the players and the coaches have completely put the loss against the Raiders in the rearview mirror and are focused on the Colts in such a short week? And if that's the case, what's it going to take for the Broncos to beat the Colts? And remember, they have Matt Ryan as their quarterback. He's very, very. He's not the same Matt Ryan that he was. That's no doubt.
No.
But he's still Matt Ryan. What's it going to take? I should say. What's it going to take for the Broncos to win this game? And is it going to be a shootout, or is it going to be a dogfight like it was against 49ers?
Well, it all hinges on the first point I'm about to make here. The Broncos have to stop the run. Jonathan Taylor, even though he's questionable, if he does play, he was the top rushing getter last year. So the Broncos, we saw last Sunday, had a very, very hard time stopping the run. Their run defense is atrocious. It's been atrocious all season long. They have to stop the run. And I think that'll give them the best chance to win the game, because I don't think the pressure is going to be there as much with the loss of Randy Gregory. And you're certainly hurting because the guy you had backing up Justin Simmons, PJ Locke, is now gone too. You don't necessarily have a ton of depth on the safety side. So, I think they'll do enough just to keep it at bay. But if they can stop the run and be more productive on offense, a little bit more than 23 points, I think they'll win the game.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is it comes down to the Broncos must stop the run and force Matt Ryan, of all people, to throw? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, because he's an aged Matt Ryan, and he's not like he can bomb it down the field. He's pretty aged. He's pretty well aged, and the Broncos have those under routes covered pretty well. Not only that, it's going to take some discipline by that offensive line too. If the offensive line can stay disciplined all game long, as far as game clock and penalties go, I think things will go smoothly for the offense.
Okay, so what's your prediction for the final score and who wins?
The further and further we get into the season, I just don't know. I don't even know, Bill. It's like so tough. That's like saying, like,
hey, I nailed it last Tuesday. I said Broncos are going to get 23.
I did too. I thought it was going to be 23-17, and they got 23, but they just lost 32-23.
Exactly.
So man, that's I don't even know. I'm going to say 2017 Denver.
Okay. Yeah. All right. 2017 Denver is your prediction. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say this is Russell Wilson's breakout game. I don't know why, but I'm feeling that. This is Russell Wilson's breakout game. Is it second or third home game?
It's the second.
Second home game.
Okay. Oh no, it's the third. Sorry, it's the third.
Okay.
It's the third because we had Houston, then San Francisco at home. Now this is the third.
Okay, so I'm going to say that Russell Wilson has a breakout game, that Hackett's just going to let him do his thing. I'll say Wilson throws for close to 300 yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns like he did against the Raiders. But the Bronco defense this time shows up, shuts them down, and the Broncos will win this game going away 27-10.
I sure hope so.
I hope so too.
I sure hope so, man. Because it's been rough.
I'm not sure I believe that 100% of what I just said. I'm not sure I believe it.
I'm not sure anybody is. We're like, everybody's like, well, we're about to find out Thursday night. So
yeah, exactly, and that's only a couple days away, for sure. As always, Jeremy, it's great to have you on. Always love doing this throughout the entire season.
Absolutely.
I hope, I don't care what score comes in. I just want Denver to have one more point than the Colts. I don't care what the score is.
That's all that matters is just to win.
And please, guys, please, no more injuries. We've had enough. No more injuries.
No kidding. Right. And stop with the fans need to stop with this gloom and doom and wanting to go scorched earth with the Broncos.
You mean like I've been doing?
Yeah, it's not that serious. It's just like I mentioned to you earlier, Bill, and I want to reiterate this to all Broncos fans. Mm-hmm. This year, in my unbiased professional opinion, is an evaluation year for personnel.
Right.
It is to see what you have with who you have, and I think they're going to reassess it and fine-tune it in the offseason through the draft and free agency, and I think you'll see a much, much better Broncos team next year. I believe that the Broncos will live up to the hype next year, because it's a first year for everybody. Let's remember that coaching staff first year. You can sit there and go, why isn't Russell Wilson just taking it over as much as you want? But here's the thing: if you don't have your quarterback and your coach working in tandem together, it's never going to work, no matter how much knowledge Russell Wilson has. He can't do it by himself.
Exactly.
He's not Peyton Manning. Stop comparing this era to the Manning era. Stop doing it, because Peyton Manning has such an intelligence level that was like insane at his point. Russell does not have that. Russell Wilson has more skill than Peyton Manning did. Peyton Manning had more IQ than Russell Wilson. That was the difference.
Right.
So it's a different quarterback. It's not the same. And I think what Russell Wilson is trying to do is establish a chemistry and a relationship with his coach, unlike he had with Pete Carroll, because that was his biggest problem in Seattle, was that the relationship between him and Pete Carroll was completely frayed to no return and no reconciliation. I think he really wants to have a solid relationship with his coach and them working in tandem, because guess what? When you're a successful person, even as much success as you've had, you also like to have everybody else's opinion and look at it from different views, because guess what? You yourself, if you look at any collaborative effort in any type of art, it's not just one person. It's several people. And so that's why there is a coach.
Yep.
That's why there is a coaching staff.
Right.
Is to work in collaboration. And I need people to realize that.
And I've been guilty of
Broncos country.
I've been guilty too of saying, okay, well, Peyton Manning did this, and Russell Wilson.
It's a different era.
Yeah.
And even when Peyton Manning in his first year, it wasn't great. We started off 2-3. We started off 2-3 in our first 5 games.
Right.
We got ran over by Matt Ryan and the Falcons in Atlanta.
Yep.
It's.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you say Matt Ryan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just checking. That same Matt Ryan we're going to see in 2 days?
Yeah, but that was also Matt Ryan 6 years ago.
True.
7 years ago. I mean, that makes a difference on a quarterback in their play.
Yeah, I agree. Totally true. Jeremy, can't wait for Thursday night. Go ahead and promote that broadcast on Thursday on the MHRT Network.
Yeah, well, I'll be doing the play-by-play calling on the MHRT Network Thursday night. Go subscribe over to the channel so you can be notified when it goes live. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. We're getting really close. We're at 913 now, so we're marching there at a good pace. So Thursday night, absolutely, especially for all the Broncos country who is on the East Coast or doesn't have Amazon Prime. And doesn't want to subscribe to Amazon Prime, I can give you a really good full breakdown and description of what's going on. So
absolutely. Yeah, guys, don't miss it. Jeremy's really good at what he does. He brings it. He's real. He's honest. He brings the emotion. You can tell when the Broncos score. You can tell when there's a miscue. So he's good at what he does. Again, Jeremy, thanks so much again for being on. Always appreciate it. We'll be on again next Tuesday. We're going to break down the game that's Thursday. We're also going to talk about the other games on Sunday. And Jeremy, do everybody in Broncos country a big favor. Let's get a win. Bring us a win, man.
Right.
Bring us a win. Okay.
Absolutely.
I want to hear it.
Be optimistic, everybody, because guess what? This is if the season goes up in flames, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
He signed Russell Wilson to 7 years.
Yep.
Just remember that. Rome wasn't built in a day.
That's exactly right. Okay, everybody out there, thanks again for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, please do so. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, tell your friends, tell your family.
Please do.
We really, really appreciate it. And until next Tuesday, have a great rest of the week. Enjoy the Broncos game on Thursday, and we will talk to you on Tuesday. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.
See you Thursday.